And we're live.
We are live. Welcome to the Amigos PC with our special guest Trish Rainone. Did I do it right?
Nice.
Yeah, that's great.
Nice.
So, looking over your IMDb, I see you've been in quite a few projects. We have the most recent one that's coming up, Milk. Is that right?
Oh yeah, that's a little love story, tragic love story that I wrote and directed, and then
Okay.
star in. 'Cause it's easier to boss yourself around than some nice actor.
Okay.
Right.
And I was cheaper. I worked for free, so.
Okay.
Very cool.
Sorry, spacing, just because of the technical difficulties we had prior before this. What got you into being an artist like this and things like that?
That's a good question. I feel like it was acting that drew me into the film business, but then I wanted to get part. So I started writing and producing and creating and then just giving myself roles, basically. So
Okay.
yeah, so it all started from a place of like a love for acting, but then I discovered how much I love story and creating stories and writing. And I don't love producing, but it's like a lot of applying for grants and asking people for money. And there's a lot of months will go into planning a production, and that's not always fun because you just want to shoot.
Yeah.
But I do like it overall, and I like that it does allow you to eventually. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I checked out a little bit of your. I was watching some of the my roommates in the next court.
Oh, cool.
So I was watching some of those, and those are actually really funny. And were those like just shorts, like
yeah, that's
episodes?
a web
Is that
series.
kind of how that is?
Yeah, so the episodes are a little bit shorter. I can't remember exactly how long, but I think the first season they were under 5 minutes or under 6 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of. I didn't know if they were just clips or if they were.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
season 2 was a little bit longer. So some of the episodes are almost 10 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, those were really funny when I was, watching those. It was really hilarious, and I think that would be a good show for for a network to pick up or something, because it was really funny.
Awesome. Thank you. You should be a network executive.
Yeah, one day.
Everything is awesome. Green light.
Yes.
Then I can cross that off the bucket list. So that would be good.
It's
What
probably
was
as you think it is. I feel like they just sit in an office all day, going through scripts and
Yeah.
financial statements, and yeah, I don't know.
That's
Probably
kinda
not.
like, that's my current world now. So
Oh, there you go.
yeah. So it's kind of that, but yeah.
where did the
NBC hire them?
Right. Yeah.
where did the inspiration behind that show come though?
Oh, so that one I co-created with Katie Ullman, and she directed. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and we just really hit it off. So we shared a bunch of dating stories and roommate stories and friend stories, and we just kind of like met for coffee for a year and brainstormed and wrote scripts, and it just kind of evolved. Yeah, it's hard to think where it actually came from, but we just hit it off and started writing right away. And a year later, maybe, I think it was a year later, we were shooting season 1. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
It's very awesome.
Okay. Well, who had the roommate though?
Are you gonna do any? Yeah, did someone really have a roommate kind of like that, or maybe you thought was kind of like that? And
No, I think
no,
I think we both had weird roommate situations, and then also just like maybe people that we had observed through life that we were like,
Okay.
that person or isn't that they? So I think it was just kind of like a combination of our imaginations and situations, and just an amalgamation of our just these ideas and things we talked about in the coffee shop. What happens in a coffee shop stays in a coffee shop.
that's true. That is true.
Until you make it a script, right?
Yeah.
So it's crazy that like you guys were just having coffee or getting to know each other, and then this concept comes up. Like, is a lot of your process similar to that when you're making episodes or series or movies like that?
Yeah, I think having like writing partners in a writing room, I've written several other comedies and web series that are in various stages of development now, like we've applied for grants and stuff. So I feel like whether you're writing alone or writing with a partner, you can kind of riff and come up with these bizarre worlds that actually are from a bunch of pieces of things that you just observe. I think if you have the comedy brain, you kind of observe things throughout life and then you put them on the script. So it is good to have someone to write with because you riff off each other. But yeah, I feel like when I look around in life, that's where I come up with a lot of the things I'm writing now. Like I just see something happen and it clicks and I'm like, that's a good idea for a show. Or I dream about it. Like I dream of a lot of the things I'm writing now were dreams that I had and I woke up and I'm like, that's weird. That could be a comedy. So then I write it.
So do you keep a notepad next to the bed then in case of, okay.
Yeah, well, I have the notes in my phone, so I'll wake up lots of times at like 5 a.m. and I just like jot down an idea. I had one the other night that was very Black Mirror-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, like a world where it's a world where we're not sure, like the citizens aren't sure who's a robot and who isn't, because robots are so advanced. So it's kind of like this, when you start dating someone you don't, if you're human or you think you're human, you might not really know. You hope that they're a human and not a robot because you want it to be a real connection.
Yeah.
And I dreamt that. So then I woke up and I was like, this has to be a thing. I wrote it out. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's really cool because that's kind of like the AI or the artificial intelligence way things are going. I mean, that's possible. I mean, you don't even know.
Like 100 years from now, we might not know if we're a robot or a human, and we could lie to our whole lives, and then we find out, like, hey, my husband's a robot. That's why he's a little
off. You just got to reprogram him, though. That's what you got to do.
It's easy fix. Actually, we'll be in a much better place than we're in now.
Exactly. Everyone could just be, I need an upgrade because I'm thinking not the right way. That's funny.
I need a few upgrades myself.
Yep. Don't we all?
It almost seems like that's my real life right now.
What's that? I'm joking. That you're a robot?
No, that my husband's a robot.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
I feel like, yeah, it's weird being inside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're all like a little bit like on autopilot, like wake up, drink coffee, drink a little bit of water, drink more coffee, go binge Netflix. Like I feel like a bit of a robot.
You mean like in the quarantine life right now? Is that what you mean? Like because it's like every day, like
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly. My kids don't even know like what day it is because they're all home, and it's like, what day is it? And they think every day is kind of like a work day for the most part because they're home still, or I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah,
we still have them doing homework and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be really strange to be a child during a pandemic.
Very true.
I can't even imagine. We had a couple of snow days where I grew up, but I can't imagine being off for months for a pandemic. Yeah.
Are you in Canada or are you in?
Yeah, I'm in Canada. Yes.
Very nice. We're at in Canada.
I'm in my hometown, Sault Ste. Marie. It's like a small city surrounded by the Great Lakes. So it's beautiful. Yeah, it's really nice. Like my dad lives on the water. Our family has a cabin that we gather at when we can gather, just like 30 minutes up the road. Wow. So it's kind of one of those like very like typical small Canadian. There's a lot of like outdoor activities that normally go on. People go on the bike trails that are all around the city, easily accessible. So it's kind of a nice place to be. And I spend a lot of time in Toronto for work normally. So it's nice to get away from the downtown busy Toronto, which is, just filled with people.
Craziness, yeah.
Yeah, I had to imagine that. Yeah.
Very cool. So you were also in the Umbrella Club. or not Umbrella, the Umbrella Academy. That's a Netflix show.
Oh yeah, I did appear in the pilot as a swimmer in the opening scene.
Yeah, so I saw that on there.
Birth.
So that's a very cool show.
That was that was pretty fun.
What was it like to go through like the pilot process with Netflix on that? Because it seems like that's a pretty popular show.
For that, like that was just kind of it was like one day. I think we were there like 17 hours or something, sitting on the deck, and then the little baby's born. They had twins. They were like newborn twins. Actually, that was the first time in my life where I had like that mom instinct kick in, because I'm not a mom, I'm an aunt. And like my nieces and nephew are great, but that was the first time where I like genuinely was holding back tears when this baby was born. And it ends up being like one of the superheroes. But because they had to bring in like a real newborn baby and then switch it out with the twin, kind of back and forth between these two babies, I was so scared for that baby. On like, of course, it's super safe on these shows, and they've got like all these safety precautions and all these people and the moms there. But just seeing like a fragile little like newborn baby, I wanted to cry. And then I was like, maybe I do want kids. But yeah, I still don't.
Yeah. So you're kind of torn between if you want to have kids or don't one day, I guess, or you set on not having kids?
I don't know. I mean, I'm like in my 30s now, and I guess I kind of have to figure it out. But I'm like one of those go with the flow situational people. So if I am with somebody and it seems right and it like happens, then I'm just going to adjust and go with it and like try to flourish with it, if that makes sense.
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if it works,
that's a great way to describe it. Sure.
Yeah.
And if I don't, then I'm like also okay with that. It just kind of I like to just take my life where the wind blows it, if that doesn't sound weird. I'm a little bit of my name isn't pronounced Rainone, but
yes.
I am a bit of
a But you do have
Rainone, but yeah, maybe it is supposed to be Rainone, because I am a little bit of a free spirit in that way. So,
yeah, a little bit, a splash of hippie, a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just like, whatever happens, happens, and I'll figure it out.
That's awesome. Just roll with the punches.
Exactly.
It's living in your school bus, going to each Woodstock,
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I haven't done that yet, but I have co-written a movie that we're hoping to shoot. That has to do with like traveling on a school bus and finding yourself. And I won't say too much more about that one, but yeah, so maybe that's like a secret dream of mine.
Is that one of your upcoming projects that I saw that are coming up, or that are in?
Butterfly. I don't know if it's like listed publicly on IMDb.
Oh, gotcha.
Like if you have the IMDb Pro,
yeah,
it comes up because it's still in development. So like just kind of waiting on basically on funding and that sort of, and the ability to shoot again.
Yeah, to be around people. That would be
with people.
Yeah, that would be definitely a first to need that for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any projects that you were working on, like you were shooting or were about to be shot, right? Or you were going to start production and then COVID happened?
Yeah.
You don't have to name the project or anything like that, but I'm just kind of curious how that, how COVID affected you with production and things like that.
Yeah, I own a production company with Rebecca Heron. She's a producer here in Canada, and we had optioned a couple of Christmas movies, and we were service producing those under our company. So we were hoping to, ideally, we would have been doing that before the snow left, and we would shoot in my hometown. And the people we had teamed up with, the producers and writers of the films, were coming from Toronto and LA. And we were going to shoot that here in my hometown before the snow left, and it just left. So that was the goal for 2020. So those will be shot maybe in like next winter or next spring before the snow leaves here, because it does stay pretty late. So yeah, it did affect some of our productions. They were just set back, but we'll still hopefully shoot those. And I did get cast in a movie as one of the lead characters, shooting in the UK, but that's supposed to happen when this is all over. I really enjoyed the script, so I've been going over that. And yeah, I'm excited about that. I just don't know when we're able to travel to other countries.
Did you have to go to the UK to audition for it, or did you just like send a tape in for it, or like what was the process for that kind of movie?
Well, for most films, you just audition from home. So especially now. So we do a lot of self-tapes, which is like an audition tape basically from your living room. And that's kind of how it's been done the past few years for the most part. Like I did the first episode of V-Wars, that's on Netflix, and that was all done via self-tape. I had a few scenes, some of them got cut. But for the audition, even for having it was considered a principal role, it was still cast just based on my self-tape, which is great for an actor because it's less nerve-wracking. Sometimes when you go in person, they give you one shot and it's like 14 pages and you walk in and you just like stumble through it because you're just getting used to the room and you're nervous. And then they're like, okay, great, see ya. And when you do it at home, you can, take a few takes, do 2 takes at least. So that's kind of how things are mostly cast now anyway. So I think that's going to be more of the norm now. There won't be so many in-person auditions. So yeah, the internet's a great place. And if you do stuff like this and get yourself out there, I think some of these productions find you and cast you.
Do you have any like recommendations for someone that would do like a self-tape to send it out for auditions and things like that? Like, is there something specific that you do, or just like maybe a regimen that you have before you film or during or anything like that while you're sending your self-tape audition?
I would say it's definitely an art. There's so many little technical things because your eye line means so much, and like where you look and like keeping your eyes steady and your body, just everything about it. I feel like it's kind of a puzzle, and it's different than acting on set. On set, you're going to have other actors to feed off of. You're going to have the set, so you feel like you're really in it. For an audition, it's kind of weird because it's just like the camera, the reader, a blank wall. So what I did probably like 7 years ago now, I took an auditioning class. So it like specifically just taught us how to audition. So when you walk in, look here, stand on this line, like do this. Kind of, we just went through the motions, and we had all these mock auditions, and we had to do it in front of the other actors in the class. And I feel like that after that, I started booking because like not as much as I would like to book, obviously. I'm not saying like it turned me into a Jennifer Lawrence, but or even someone like half as successful as her, but like it definitely calmed any nerves that I had or confusion I had about the technical stuff. So then I could just act and kind of have the technical stuff just in me. So practice.
Was that like somewhere local to you, or like did you go somewhere for that, or what? Like, how did you stumble across it?
That was in Toronto, which is kind of like one of the hubs for filming in Canada. So they have a lot of classes. Yeah, I don't know I would say if you're not in like a really film-friendly city with lots of classes available, you could always look online for some tips and pointers, and it's pretty straightforward. It is a bit of a pain in the butt sometimes because you have to get a reader, so you need to have like someone who usually does not want to read or act, like reading the lines with you. So you have to like print off the script, give them a copy. Set up the camera. So you need a little at-home tripod with like a ring light, and you need a blank wall behind you so there's no distractions. And then you end up like I've had roommates in the past who I've forced to do these auditions with me, and they're just like not having any of it, and they'll do maybe one take with you, and then they're like, I got some muffins to bake, so see ya. And you're like, I guess this is what I'm sending. So yeah, fun time.
Very cool.
I like how you defaulted to like muffins to bake versus.
Yeah, they're like, these muffins are gonna burn. I don't give a crap about this role that you think is this amazing opportunity that's gonna change your life. You're not gonna get it. It's not gonna change you. I got muffins and they're gonna burn if I don't get to them.
So you had mentioned earlier that a comedy mindset and writing comedy scripts and things like that. Do you do any stand-up or anything like that, or have you done stand-up before?
That's a good question. I was always afraid of it, even though I had done comedy, but was afraid of doing a live show because I thought, like, people are just not going to laugh at me, or they're going to laugh at me and not with me. Mm-hmm. So I finally tried it about 1.5 years ago, and it was probably terrible the first time. I think I got through like one of the 17 jokes that I thought I would be able to tell in 7 minutes. So they started like waving me off the stage. The light got down, but then I thought about it, went back and did a couple more shows. And then I just kind of stopped doing it because you have to be in bars late at night. And I'm in my 30s. Like, I used to work in bars in my 20s. And I'm like, that was so 10 years ago.
Years ago, yeah.
Lady, I cannot be in bars late at night. So what has been a great blessing now with isolation is I came across this electric comedy night based out of LA, but I don't have to be in LA to be a part of their shows. So I reached out to them. I sent in a couple of 1-minute sets. They're all 1 minute for Instagram. They put them out there on their Instagram page and on their Facebook and their YouTube. And it's actually, I've been in 2 of their comedy shows so far since isolation started. And it's given me some exposure to other comics. And we've kind of connected over Instagram. And now I think the next time I go to LA, I'll have some new comedian friends, which is kind of fun. So
That's
I
awesome.
right now from home. And then I've recorded a couple of others that I didn't submit to that show, but I still kept going with it and just put them on my YouTube page. So they're like 1 minute stand-up comedy sets from home.
We've talked to quite a few stand-up comedians. That we try to focus on the local comedians comedy scene here in Phoenix, Arizona, and we've noticed that they're starting to do that too.
Yeah.
It's like becoming a good trend just to have it out there. I know recently someone on Joe Rogan Experience, he had a comedian that's how he became famous, was he just did 1 minute skits of YouTube, and then eventually it just picked up.
Wow.
That's amazing. I think it's so cool that now as creators, we live in a time where we can just film something, put it out there, and even if it's not, like film cinema quality, no one expects it to be because they know you're at home, you're using a cell phone, but it's about the content. So you can get your ideas and content out there. A Canadian show that shoots close to my hometown that I've auditioned for like 10 times and never booked. Letterkenny.
Oh, I love that show.
Oh,
so they
love that. Seen them all.
They were getting their YouTube sketches out there in character and showing the world what this show could be. And then the networks, well, I wasn't there, so I might be butchering their story, but then I assume the networks saw it and then they would go in and pitch the series and they got picked up. And now it's like a huge show. So I think it's important to just like get your voice out there. If you're a creator or a comedian or actor or writer, whatever you are, an artist, put your stuff online, like put it all over Instagram, harass people with your stuff. You never know who's watching and who might like it. And the people who don't like it can block you.
Very true. Very
I think that's the philosophy that we've been taking.
Yes.
We've been blocked many of times already.
I think you should get a badge of honor for that, because that's kind of special. Awesome. That means you're making people feel something and you're making them feel enough to like just want to block you. I love that.
Yeah,
that's how we roll.
Something's the right word to use for sure.
So I have a question on the Letterkenny.
Okay.
Is it? I don't know. Have you ever visit there? Is it really kind of like that, like small town, like farm life, like?
Yeah, it's 3 hours from my hometown, and the drive from here to, they shoot in Sudbury. The drive from here to there, it's like a lot of farmland, cottages, lakes. And then Sudbury itself, I've shot a few movies there. And well, I didn't shoot them. I wasn't the cinematographer, but I was like in them. Yeah, we shot a Christmas movie there in some cabins on the lake, and it was minus 40 degrees winter. It's definitely a small town. Yeah, with not a lot of, I don't think Sudbury has so many farms, so it's not really a farm. I don't think there are too many farms, but it's small town. There's a lake. There's trails.
Jason comes out of the lake. It's a summertime story.
Nice.
I'm joking.
So you mentioned that you were gonna be filming the Christmas movies.
Yeah.
That you were gonna be doing. Were those gonna be for like Hallmark Canada, or just because there's so many Hallmark Christmas movies?
One of them is more of that style. I think it'll be for Lifetime.
Oh, okay.
And the other one is not that style. It's more of a like it's like racier or whatever. It's more like it's a little bit rawer, and it's a comedy, like more of a raw comedy, I would say. Yeah.
Nice. Cool.
So they're both very different, but that's the cool thing about service producing is that like I have a certain voice when I write, but then when we're producing things that other people have written, it's cool because then there's a variety. Like we're service producing a couple of horror films, which are really, really fun. And then like the lovey Christmas story, and then we have the more raw comedy Christmas. And it's nice to have a bit of a variety. So I think that's cool. And then who knows what's going to happen with anything, but it's nice to work with other people and option some different films and see what we can end up shooting.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So the upcoming projects that I saw, I don't know if you want to talk about those or if you can.
Sure.
They're what I saw, which was Pink is In?
Oh yeah, that one's really fun.
Yeah. Is that one coming, or that one is on hold, or have you started that one?
We did start that one, I think a couple months prior to, like we had shot the pilot, part of the pilot, and they still give me updates, but I'm not positive of where it's at. But the goal is going to be to, be on a network. And it's
very cool.
It's a really fun comedy. So I'm really excited to be part of that and flattered that they thought of me for the role because it's a really fun role. And my character's a badass, and it's really like the comedy style in that one is a lot of fun. So I had fun on our first shoot, but we have yet to shoot the rest. So
very cool.
And I'm really keeping my fingers crossed for that one because it's a lot of fun. I love comedy.
I know that's why it's awesome that Mark brought up the stand-up thing, because it really sounds like, especially with what the episodes that I saw with the room, the older stuff that you did, which is those My Roommate's an Escort. Those were really funny like situations and stuff that you had going on there. So it's like I could definitely see you have the comedy in you, and you definitely have that comedy bug, whatever you want to say. I don't know.
Spit it out, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know what word avalanche. I know.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that's where my heart is definitely in comedy. That's, even if I do any other genre, I want there to be some comedy laced in there. And I think there is for all the projects that I'm working on with 180 Sisterhood, with Rebecca. So yeah, I think that's kind of like one common thing, is that even if it's like a horror film or a coming of age drama, I think both appreciate when there's comedy laced in throughout the scripts.
Where's some of the best places that you've traveled to shoot, other than maybe Canada? Like, is there do you like to do LA? Do you like to go other places? Like, is there other areas in the world that you either like or want to shoot at?
That's a really good question. I am excited about the potential of going over to the UK to shoot. And I'm going to say that as far as shooting goes, I was flown into a place called Saskatoon one time when I was starting out, and I thought like, wow, I've made it. Like, we're flying into Saskatoon. And then we shot on a farm, and the project never came out or anything. I don't know what really happened, but that was an interesting experience, going to a place where you don't know anyone and you're coming into, like, it's kind of exciting as an actor when you get to fly somewhere, because you're like, this is like real, because somebody wants to fly me somewhere and I get to see like a different place. Why didn't they pick somebody who lived in that place? So it is always a little bit exciting. And then I'm going to say when we shot in Sudbury for that Christmas movie, it was called A Lot Like Marriage, and now it's called Beautiful Accidents. That was a lot of fun because we were in these little cabins in a secluded area in the woods. It was so secluded that I was driving all of the other actors with me because I had a vehicle, and I drove down a snowmobile path thinking that it was the road to the cabin, and I got us completely stuck and stranded. There was no cell phone service, and I had borrowed a Mercedes from a family member. Like, I am an actor, I don't have a car, so I borrowed a Mercedes.
And you got stuck in the Mercedes with everybody?
Yeah, in a snowmobile trail with no cell phone service. And I had an actor in from Florida, an actor in from New York City, and then another actor from LA. Well, she now lives in LA, but I think at the time she lived in Washington, D.C. So I had all these American actors with me who had come up to Canada, and they're like in this secluded area, and I'm like, I'm a local, I got this, I'll drive them out there. And I got us all stranded for a couple hours until like a massive snowplow came along, and then a pickup truck, and the effort of like I'm talking like a huge massive snowplow, like a construction grade snowplow, a massive machine had to get us out.
That's awesome. So were the rest of the car people okay, or were they mad at you for that? Like,
I think they were just really worried. It happened a second time. I drove us down another.
Nice.
There's a lot of snow here, and snowmobile trails really look like roads in the middle of the woods when there's a lot of snow. So that was a very memorable shoot, and I enjoyed that location other than the almost
stuck.
Getting,
you all have a story to tell now, though.
That's true. Being stuck in the snow.
We bonded over that. Yeah.
Did you guys have to ration out like the little bit of food you had because you guys were scared it was going to turn into a Dahmer party kind of situation?
I think because it didn't get dark. Like, this happened during the light hours of the day, so it was fine. And then we got fed. We were fed. We had lots of food once we got to set, and lots of time to bond. And they sold poutine in the main lodge, which is I don't know if you guys eat that there, but it's like fries with cheese and gravy. So the cheese gets
it's a delicacy here in some of the southern states.
Is it? I've never heard of it. Mark's from Wisconsin, so it's kind of close to you.
Well, but there. I've heard of everything that you add cheese to because I'm a cheese fan.
That's true. Wisconsin, yeah.
So that was a great shoot.
That's awesome. Very cool.
I don't know. In that situation, I think I'd be the first one to say, okay, which one of us are we going to eat first?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. Dahmer party situation. Like, who are you going to who's the weakest link?
Yeah.
Who can run the fastest? You have to injure that person.
Someone find straws so we can pick
There you go.
You watch Lost? I watched some of that recently. I got into it, and it's pretty creepy when they crash. The plane crashes on an island, and then a guy gets sucked into the jet engine of the plane. It's just so stressful. So always carry snacks. Not that help you.
That is a rule.
from getting sucked in.
That will be the name of the episode, just so you know. Always carry snacks.
Always carry snacks. Snacks.
I
Even
have
if
to write that down.
you're not a bad, like life or death situation, having snacks will just save you from being grumpy. So just
That's
always
true.
carry snacks. When
Very
you
true.
leave your house.
Yeah,
If-
when you can leave.
If you can ever leave your house again.
I know, it's great. So what are you guys doing there in Canada? Because here they're in Arizona, we haven't been as strenuous as like New York and like California and stuff like where they've been locked down like legitly.
Yeah.
And here it's been like we can still do stuff and go. And now on the 5th, well, today they now kind of opened us up where we can now go to restaurants, but it's still you still have to be in like 6 feet apart, and they're gonna have like, I don't know, mannequins and shit in some places where you can basically look like it's full, but it's not.
Wow.
As far as like making the restaurants look like there's people there. So like, what are they doing there in Canada? Is it still kind of like locked down completely, or is it like, can you go places and like do stuff? Or?
You can go places like the city I'm in, I think I might be wrong, but it had 13 cases altogether at one point, and then they were down to 0 a couple weeks ago.
That's good.
Confirmed cases. Yeah. So that's what I had heard. And my family's in construction, so they're essentials, so they're still working. But like my sister will work from her home office, but then some of the workers are working, but they have to stay 6 feet apart and wear masks, but they can still do the essential roads and all that sort of stuff. And then I know that like I'm talking with the local brewery of how we can kind of work together, and I might start working with them a bit, and they're open in that they're doing deliveries, and I think people can go in right now and pick up. Like we're like semi-open. You can go into places like for booze and food. My brother-in-law owns a restaurant, Arturo's in Sault Ste. Marie. If you're from the Sioux, support it and get some takeout, but he's doing all takeout, so you don't eat in the restaurant. So it's kind of like that semi. People are getting back to. But I think one of the local coffee shops, because I had ordered takeout, told me that she was going to be able to have people in, just like a certain amount of people at a time starting soon. And I go to a pita shop the other day, and the sign outside said like 2 customers can come into the building at any given time or at one time, and that's it. So yeah. So
that's cool. So it's kind of the same thing. You guys can still kind of. It's not like California, New York, where it seems like you can't go anywhere. At least that's what they kind of seem. Yeah,
there's no one in this. Like I go for like before this, I'd go for a run and pass one person. So it's pretty secluded already as it is. Keep their distance and.
So you're already in a safe place. You're good.
I feel pretty like I do feel scared for everyone, but I feel like I'm at peace here more than I could be.
Yeah, basically than being in Toronto, I would imagine.
Oh my gosh, Toronto was so much anxiety. I just it was like I have to go. I can't be here right now. I do not want to be here. Yeah, there's too many people in close quarters at all times, people bumping into you all the time. I don't know what it's like there now. I think people are keeping their distance, but there's just too many people. I don't want to be in a big city.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to be around anybody else anyways.
That's true.
That's
very true.
People are staying away from each other. And I have heard that, I'm going to turn off my cell phone. I can hear it whistling at me. But I do hear from some friends that, like you said, nobody wants other people to be around them anyways. So like people are it seems like a lot of my friends in Toronto are wearing masks and they're keeping their distance because they don't want to be near people. Those people don't want to be near them. Everything's changed because people used to push me all the time on the subway. Like daily, I was getting pushed around. So I guess it's really changed some things.
I was just saying that in general. I just don't want to be around people. But even this COVID thing is just a blessing at this point.
Well, I mean your restraining orders, Mark, is what allows you to stay away from some people.
Very true.
So
COVID, restraining orders.
Yeah.
Well, with
COVID.
a order, you have to stay more than 6 feet apart.
Yeah, that's how they get you.
Yeah, that's how they get you. You can't get close enough to your stalking victim that you
Yeah,
can,
very true.
breathe on them.
Well, that's why me and Scott here are actually
Yeah, I have a restraining order against him, so this
That's
is
why
why
you
we're
do
doing
the
this.
show from.
Yeah,
That makes
yeah.
sense.
It does. It
I'm
does.
glad you guys like kind of worked it out to the point
Yeah,
where like virtually we can sit right next to each other because
Yeah.
we're seeing you right now on the screen. You're right next to each other.
but next to each other, someone's gonna get stabbed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
You know, a
that's
little
true.
bit of
There's got to be a distance.
like an internet between us.
Yeah, or a law document that makes us stay away.
That
Yeah.
too. Signed by police officer,
Right.
law enforcement. Yes.
Yes. So during all this lockdown, what have you been binging? Have you been binging anything Netflix wise? I know you mentioned Lost, but has there been anything that you've been watching in the world of?
So I've been watching Dead to Me. I think it's on
Oh yeah, Netflix.
Apple. Yes.
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember if it was Netflix or Amazon Prime because I go back and forth. And then on Amazon, just yesterday, I started Upload. And then that one's kind of very like futuristic. There's I guess the whole concept of virtual reality is really integrated into that one. And there's this whole idea of when you die, you don't have to die, you can be uploaded
Oh.
another realm. And then you have people here on Earth who wear the virtual reality.
And they can be you or something?
Well, they're your angels. So they like
Oh.
guide you through, they like show up when you need help and that sort of thing. And but you have to have someone, I might be butchering it. You have to have someone they're gonna reach out and be like, no, they'll never know that but
So you're episode 1. You're episode 1 in on that one.
no, I got to episode 5 on that.
No, I'm just messing with you.
I know so much about it. Basically,
Yeah.
if you die, you get uploaded if somebody will pay for it. And then you get uploaded to, if they have money, you get uploaded to a very nice place. And then you have somebody from like New York City who's sitting with the goggles and helping you out. And then if you want to still have relations with your partner you had on Earth, they rent a sex suit and they put it on, or it's called an intimacy suit because some people don't use it for sex, but they use it to go and hug their loved one.
Go on a date?
Yeah.
Yeah, the world that we live in today, we know what it's for. We know what it's for.
Exactly. So that show's called Upload. So go check it out because it's a lot better than I make it sound.
It's been good so far. Cool.
Yeah,
I think I saw an ad for that one, like Amazon pop up, like Upload. Check it out. I haven't seen that one, but that sounds good.
But Dead to Me is also so good. There's so many like twists and turns, and I like that it's written by a female or created by a female, and I think directed by females too. Lead
Awesome.
female characters. Yeah, I like that. And then Community, Parks and Rec. What are you guys watching?
Yeah.
I just finished the second season of Altered Carbon, which kind of sounds similar to that Upload show.
Yeah.
I don't know that one. What's that on?
Netflix. Yep.
Okay. What's it? How do you spell that?
That one, it's Alter Carbon, so it's ALTER and then Carbon.
Carbon. Okay, I wrote it down.
So that one is basically, Mark can fill you in because I've only seen like some of first season, but that one's kind of like where if you die, you can put your body into another body, like a host body.
Oh.
And then that person can then like, you're that guy, but you're now somebody else, and you can like keep living, kind of thing, like in a different.
Yeah, it's basically eternal living.
Yeah, it's like all the rich people can live forever, obviously, because you have all the money to continue to do it, and then the normals, just die off, and they probably use their bodies to farm them. Yeah.
That's really, so every time, so then when you get a host body and then that body dies off, then you pick a new body.
Right.
You get this stack that they put in the back of your neck, and there's an assassin in there, the murder mystery. It has a little bit of the aspects of everything. It's pretty good.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll check that out.
Yeah, that is a good one. I mean, that's kind of like you said. It's kind of what you're kind of watching, but yours is more VR world. But yeah,
Reminds me of that Bruce Willis movie, Surrogate.
Oh,
I
yeah, yeah.
I do like Bruce Willis, and I'm glad you brought him up. I
Ooh.
saw that he is isolating with Demi Moore and all of the 30-something-year-old kids they had together in the childhood home that those girls grew up in. And then he has his current wife. He's got some young kids with her. And the current wife and the young kids are at his actual place that he's living at now that he's not living at. Like, he left his wife to go hang out with
With his old wife.
and the adult children who don't need him to like look after them, and they're posting on Instagram. They're having a ton of fun. I read an article that Rumor Willis said, we're having so much fun. We're having slumber parties. They're both just such big nerds, my parents. So it's so much fun. Every day is just like this fun.
Wow. Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder what the new wife is thinking.
That's what I was wondering.
What I was like,
Yeah, so I stalked Demi Moore's Instagram, and there are a bunch of photos of them like doing sleepover parties and matching pajamas. But then there is one recent photo now where the wife is also there with a couple of little kids, like the current wife, and they did like a family photo shoot distancing, and they had a photographer sit in a truck and take a photo of all of them. But it's like me and the older kids and Bruce, and then the wife and the younger kids. But in the previous photos from the past few weeks, it was just as Rumor said in the article that it was just Bruce and Demi and the older kids quarantining together.
So that's the life that you get to look forward to once you make it big in Hollywood, right? So
it's like this week, I don't feel like being in isolation with these small kids. I'm going to go back to my life like 30 years ago and hang out with these kids now.
that is smart.
And they can kind of look after themselves. And I can drink with them.
But then you're with your ex, and I don't know, that whole situation seems weird.
It seems weird. The only ex I ever dated for like a long period of time was a guy I dated for 5 years in my 20s. And I'm thinking, imagine I went and moved in with like, what if I go and knock on his door with like his current wife and their little kids, and I'm like, hey, just wanted to isolate with you guys. That would be so weird.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Yeah,
that would be really totally weird.
So yeah, I'm thinking that's a little strange.
Well, more power to Bruce for being wise enough to get away from the little kids.
I kind of want to look into that now, though.
Yeah,
and kind of feed off the drama.
Yeah, like I'm not always into celebrity gossip, but this story, I was like, hang on a second, I need to click this, and then I just got like down the rabbit hole.
Nice, and then you bought a couple things through Amazon, and then
I have all these Bruce Willis T-shirts.
T-shirts.
President, all these T-shirts in my closet now. I thought I'd dress up tonight and not wear one of them, but
damn you, internet!
Yeah,
strikes again.
Have you done that though? Like you're just like sitting there watching something on YouTube, and the next thing you know, like you're watching how to make a pencil on YouTube. I don't know why you're looking up how to make a pencil, but
kind of weird.
You're looking at. Next thing you know, you're down a rabbit hole and you're watching a video on how to install a toilet. Like how does that happen? I don't understand. And you get sucked into it.
All these other interesting things where when you see it, you're like, oh yeah, I should probably know how that works. So then you just keep, like I got down a rabbit hole the other day of missing people stories. So it just kept suggesting more missing people stories, and the little photo and the little caption just got me. And then you're into it and you're watching, and this girl lives in Australia, and she was taken from her dad by her mom when she was a baby, and she didn't know that she was really American. And then one day her mom slipped up and called her her original name and not her fake name. And some nosy Karen went on the internet and looked it up and did some digging and found out that this mom stole her kid away from the husband, came to Australia, and then they turn her into the cops, and then the mom's in jail for life.
That's a Liam Neeson movie, right?
Yeah, take it. Oh, I was just
No.
watching Taken.
Were you
No.
watching? That's what happened. It took. That's what the internet does. You're watching, you're learning, and then all of a sudden you're watching Taken 2.
Yeah. Oh,
I hate it when that happens.
Yeah.
Unsolved Mysteries with Trish Rainone.
Did you think when you were going through all those those missing people? Did you think like, I think I can probably solve one of these?
no.
No, you didn't think so. You're just
No.
interested. Okay. All right.
This woman who solved this is very nosy. Like, how would you solve that? How? They got new names. The woman got a new husband. Like, how would you even solve that unless you saw a photo online and you were like, that's my friend? How would you solve it? I feel like the person who solved it by being like, oh, she called her Sarah instead of Samantha. I better go look into this. Why would she call her daughter Samantha? Her name's
Yeah.
Sarah. I'm going to start Googling, and then you find out that this woman is a kidnapper. Like, how do
That's
you
crazy.
crack these cases? I'm
Some
not
people,
a detective.
some people have too much time on their hands.
They do, yeah. I'm not meant to be a detective.
Not to obviously Quarantine World, and I think I watched this during Quarantine World, but there was a thing on Netflix about, I think it's like, I can't remember what the name of it is, something about killing cats, but it's not like, it's a documentary. It's not about really killing cats. Well, it kind of is, but basically it's a documentary about some guy on the internet kept posting videos about like doing bad things to animals and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was like, what's going on here? And it's on Netflix, but one lady, like some guy shared it.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of what happens in the series. But he shares it, and then he goes, or some lady sees it, and she gets all involved in it, and like starts researching everything, and they start a forum.
Oh.
And like they all start talking to each other, and like, what's in the background, like that, and all these people are trying to solve this mystery.
Mm-hmm.
with what's going on, and they ended up kind of catching on and telling, the police or wherever they thought he was to get this guy, but obviously they didn't listen because they're like, oh, you're just some internet crazy people that are like doing too much for nothing. And
so the guy posting these videos online, but from like being anonymous?
Yeah, like he was anonymous and he was like doing creepy stuff, and then all of a sudden he obviously moved from animals to then people.
Okay,
and that's when they kind of caught on more, and that's when they saw the cat thing, they were like, all right, we're gonna get this guy, because he's obviously not right in the head. And when he did that, then that's when before that they were telling about the cat thing, and then they've been watching this guy for years because they would watch his, like, anything he posted and stuff like that, and they knew. So that's what I mean. Like, there's people who have so much time on their hands that literally playing at-home detectives.
Well, did you guys watch Tiger King?
Yeah, yes.
Carol Baskin, all that effort that she put in,
yeah,
taking down Joe, like making websites and having people like follow him across the country, down before he got to make mall appearances. It all exhausts me just listening to it.
Yeah. She did kill her husband, though.
Oh, she definitely did.
Right?
For sure.
The only way a tiger would kill a human is if you slathered sardine oil on them.
That had to be the moment for everybody. They're like, and they look at either whoever's in the room with them, or like what, or look at the TV like, what? You did it.
Yeah, she did. Well, I don't know if she did, but I think she did.
Yeah, I think
all the cool stuff. Yeah.
They said they're going to reopen the case, so I'm sure that it's.
Well, did you hear that they're in talks of making a movie about it?
Yeah. What's her name from SNL playing Carol Baskin? That one.
Well, Nicolas Cage too is going to play Joe Exotic.
Yes, that's right.
So that's like
probably more than one. There must be a few projects.
Yeah.
How do people get the rights to this, though?
Well, he's in jail, so I don't.
Like to get the rights.
It's got to be that guy, that first producer guy, that maybe he has some pool.
Right.
The guy in the documentary, that guy probably has.
Grab the rights to their lives and now he's selling it to everyone and making a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of sad too because was it Joe? I think it's Joe, right? He's in jail. He can't even profit off of any of this. It's like,
I know. It's so weird because he made all those music videos, and you can tell he wanted, like, in his mind, he was a celebrity, and now he's in jail, and the guy's literally become a celebrity.
Yeah.
And he's just stuck in jail.
He's literally in like his own personal hell. Like
Yeah.
he wanted to be bigger than he was when he was.
Happened, but here I am.
Yeah,
he made a deal with the devil, right? And it turned out just like how making a deal with the devil turns out. I'll give it to you, but you're going to jail for life.
The fine print that he did not read. You'd be in jail while you're a celebrity.
Crazy Joe Exotic. Yeah, what a story. That was eye-opening. That was an experience, that show.
And to go back to my thing, it was called Don't F with Cats.
Oh, okay.
That was what that was what I called. That's what it was called. Don't F with Cats.
Okay.
But it's the whole word.
Watch that.
But it was crazy.
Yeah, that's creepy.
Very.
Well, since we brought up going back to jail, I'm going to have to start heading there pretty soon to this show. So let's start to wind it down a little bit. If you could, let us know. Thank you for coming on, by the way.
Yes, thank you so much.
Sorry about the technical difficulties when we started. And
it's the mountains in the back.
Yeah, the mountains sometimes.
The bad service.
Can you tell us where we can find you on social medias, things like that? And if you have anything that's gonna come out right around, or once all this ends, or something that we should really check out for you.
Cool. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I mostly am. Trish Rainone with the number 1 at the end. So I don't know if my name is on display here now, but I guess if you're listening audibly, it's spelled Rain1, and then with a 1 after that. Just hopefully you can find me, because I'll take any more followers I can get. And yeah, that's mostly where I am. Sometimes I post stuff to YouTube. Not a lot of people watch YouTube, or my YouTube anyways. They watch YouTube, just not mine.
You gotta be playing a video game and or opening toys.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe I'll get into that. So yeah, just find me on Instagram. I always post and promote whatever projects I have going on there. So where I make little projects and post there as well, little comedy clips and stuff. So yeah, let's connect there.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right. Again, appreciate that you came on.
Thanks for having me.
Thank
Amigos
you.
out.
Amigos out.
That's a new way to end.